Alright, so I've decided I'm going to show you guys how to get this firebox, get the fire in the firebox built so that we can sear the prime rib. Not rocket science, not hard. Probably most people can figure it out, but I decided to just show you anyways. Nonetheless, just so that everybody understands what we're doing and how to really do this. And one thing I wanted to point out, Franklin door still opens and closes. Been running this thing for 6-7 hours now. Door's just fine. Again, have no idea why some people complain that their doors don't work. My door has always worked just fine. Worked perfectly. Had no issues with it. Had no issues with the handle opening and closing. Works great. So if you saw my review video I did recently, where I addressed this, still works. So anyways, gonna go ahead and open this up. For me, I'm going to use fire gloves. My barbecue gloves, sorry, just because I really want to make sure I don't get burned, especially if these logs ignite quickly and get going. I also showed earlier how I did was drying a bunch of wood and drying it out. I'm actually going to use some of those logs for this also. But anyways, I'll go ahead and just kind of get the coal bed spread out. Make sure there's just kind of a nice little valley in here. Really want to make it easy as possible. So adjust this a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see okay. There we go. So gonna take some bigger pieces to create our base with. Put bigger pieces right on the bottom. These are those pieces that I have not, that I was seasoning earlier today. Figured they'd be great base pieces. Really want to have just a base built up to keep it, as your foundation for this fire. I'm really going to just build big bonfire essentially. It's probably going to put it out a little bit, which it did, but in any case, it doesn't really matter. It's gonna relight. Gonna just stack it just like this. Get it all in there nice. Just really going to put as much wood in here as we possibly can. Give it a little blow. I can see that it's already starting to catch back there. With this, we want to get the smoker up to at least 500 degrees Fahrenheit at a minimum. We're going to get this really hot. If you have a temp gauge that isn't super great or heavy duty or reliable, please feel free once you hit that 500 degrees just to take it out and leave it out and just keep your fire in here going nice and hot. For me, I already know I've had mine way past 500 degrees, way past it. I mean, it almost hit a full circle when I seasoned this thing the first time. And my temperature gauge still works just fine. It's a tell true, but that's what Aaron Franklin puts in his pits for the Franklin pits. So really high end, really high quality temp gauge. Not worried about it, so I'm going to leave mine in. But if you feel like you need to take yours out, if you're worried about it getting ruined, please take it out once you hit that 500 degrees. So I'm actually going to go ahead and open up my cook chamber real quick, get some air flowing. And then just help it along. So hopefully you can see back in there, those logs have caught. Those are actually the bottom logs down there that I was drying out earlier today. So they're catching, everything's coming up. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and close the cook chamber. The final step that you need to make sure you do, and you always do whenever you're trying to really get these really high temps built up like what I'm trying to do, is you want to shutter the door as much as possible. If yours doesn't, with mine, I can go ahead and close it all the way if I want to. It's going to keep going, going to keep burning. You can see the fire in there. I've got these notches cut out from Franklin, and then of course the Franklin writing. This is just enough oxygen to keep the fire going inside of there. But if yours doesn't have those notches and it's just a solid door, just kind of crack it a little bit. Leave it open just enough to get air in there, but you definitely want to shutter it and close it as much as possible so that we push all of the heat up into the cook chamber. So anyways, going to go get the all right, so the Franklin is up to temp, got up to 500 degrees. Got a massive bonfire going on inside the firebox. I was able to use a lot of those logs that I was pre-drying earlier today, just trying to dry out. They worked really well, did exactly what I needed to do. They caught fire, they created that big base so I could keep stacking on top of it. Meat's been resting for about 40 minutes now. It's taken about 20 minutes to get this thing up to 500 degrees. So what I'm going to do is just quickly lift this up, put it on, and then I got my timer right here. I'm going to start my 2-minute timer on it, and then we're going to check it if we're done, and then go ahead, or not check if we're done, but open the lid, see how it looks. May go a little bit longer, may not, but I'm going to go ahead and get this in here now. All right, so the timer's gone off. Going to go ahead and check this thing real quick. Going to actually just put one glove on so I can be ready in case I need to pull this thing out. I'm going to look at it real quick. Oh yeah, looking good, looking real good. I'm actually going to go ahead and do this for like 1 more minute, and then I'm going to pull it out. One thing I really wanted to point out with this is I'm doing this on Christmas Eve. It is cold outside. And this really shows off one of the other strengths of the Franklin, that it can really transfer heat from the firebox to the cook chamber. It has convection. It has the ability to really move that air from one heat source into the cook chamber. And it's keeping it right at 500 degrees, which is fantastic. I just had to mess with the fire a little bit to kind of just keep it going a little bit. But the other thing too I wanted to point out is we have a clear smokestack, clear smoke coming through. Awesome. Super impressed with this, super happy with it. This thing is just going really well, turning out really nicely, just really happy with everything, how it's been coming along. I feel like we're really just displaying what the Franklin can do, not just from smoking, but also just from being able to sear something like this. Like, it's pretty incredible, especially on a day like today where it's cold. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this thing out now. Okay, and there we have it. And nicely seared. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice and crispy, nice and seared, exactly how I wanted it. You know what? I don't know if I dare. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in and flip it. Get the other side seared. Going to do not very long. Hopefully I don't ruin this thing. Just going off of my feel, going off of my gut. Feel like that I can do this for just 1 more minute. Get that sear on that thinner side for just a minute, and really make this thing magical. Make it so both sides are just really well seared. Probably saw the flames coming through. I don't know if you could see them, but they're just coming through here, and really having to hold my breath, which is something you really want to get in the habit of with any offset smoker, is just holding your breath every time you go by the firebox, every time you open your lid. You don't want to breathe that smoke in. It can't be good for your lungs, can't be good for your health. So just hold your breath. Do what you need to do, and then exhale when you're done. Now, if you need to breathe, just turn your head away and breathe. But try to get used to holding your breath, keep your lungs clean. Don't need to kill yourself while you're making your food. So timer's about ready to go off. I'm gonna go ahead and open this lid now. Okay. Fantastic. So hopefully now, turn that off. Hopefully now you guys can see, now this side is a lot more seared now than what matches the other side. So now both sides are just heavily, heavily seared, which is exactly what I wanted. You know, this side kind of came out. I mean, they had a bark, you know, and it had that smoky look, but it wasn't seared. Now both sides are seared. Both sides are crusty, crispy. This is going to be so good. So now what I'm going to do is let this rest, and then once it's done resting, I'm going to slice it. Okay, so now the meat's done resting. So now the moment we've all waited for, going to start slicing this thing up and see how it looks, see how it comes out. Start with this end here. I've already mentioned this before. Some of this is going to be kind of well done or even mid-well, so it's not all going to be red like what we all love. That's okay. Just going to start slicing it. Check it out. See how it looks. Even on this done side, it's super juicy, super soft, super great. Hopefully y'all can see that on the camera. Should be able to. So I don't have a camera crew, so everything I do is just through tripods and multiple cameras. This is all just looking super, super great. Super, super delicious. Exactly how I wanted it to turn out. Really, really happy with this so far. And it's been resting for about a half hour, actually 45 minutes, so should be plenty of resting time. I'm going to go ahead and just pick up this piece. This is where we're starting to get into the mid-rare, rare. Look at all that juice. It's just coming off of it. Really, really good. Really, really great. You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and try even one of these well-done pieces just to see how it's going to be. Just want to get the corner. Don't really want to get too much of it. So it's definitely well done, but it is so good, so flavorful, so juicy. Only way that I can describe it is it's like if a steak, a ribeye steak and a brisket met up and made a baby, that's exactly what this tastes like. That's exactly how it turned out. So we've got the best of both worlds of barbecue. I've got the steak flavor that we really want, kind of prime rib. But then I've also got that smoky, good brisket flavor too. And the sear on that thing was fantastic. The seasoning was great. You could really even taste the salt from the dry brine that I did. Right, and now we're really getting into a lot of these more redder parts. So got people coming over here soon, so I'm going to go ahead and finish slicing this thing up real quick. You know, if you like this video, please just subscribe. Feel free to comment. If you have any questions, I'll always respond to your questions. Anything else you want to see, please post that. I'm happy to make more videos, more content, show whatever it is you guys want to see, whatever it is that I'm missing. Happy to show more and to do more. Always interested in your suggestions. Always willing to respond. Always willing to help anybody that wants to learn how to make food like this. So, till next time, we'll catch you later.